Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutabadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitangsha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhaktale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Ashatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaur Tushe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So session 6, last unit. The topic is how do we present our gurus within the community of devotees. And this whole unit is for facilitating better cooperation within the society. We have already discussed before, properly enough, that if there is no cooperation, then the society will break, and the consequences of that will be that the desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will not get fulfilled. So we have to work very hard towards maintaining that unity. In Kali Yuga, it's very difficult for people to stay together. Kali Yuga means an age of quarrel, an age of fight. And that's why we see always somewhere else fighting is going on between individuals, between families, neighbors, states, nations. So it's very difficult to maintain peace and cooperation. One has to put extra efforts towards that. It's very easy to fight in Kali Yuga. So that's why it was predicted by, not predicted, but it was kind of warned by Srila Prabhupada when he left this world. He said, ISKCON is such a powerful organization, so much protected by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Acharyas, that no external force can destroy this organization. It's not possible. But if ever this organization will collapse, it will happen due to internal fights or internal conflicts. Something which happened in his Guru Maharaj's institute, Gaudiya Math. It collapsed because of internal fights. So he said, that's the only fear that I have. And that's why people who are members of this organization, they have to be very careful to not become a cause of that in a small way or in a big way. So one way of doing that is being very mature in how we present ourselves, our opinions, and how we do anything we do in the society. So first is presenting one's guru. Now what happens is, as I mentioned before, sometimes people develop this ego, which is all fine if you keep it to yourself, that my spiritual master or my guru is the best. Of course, a disciple should feel like that about one's guru, that my guru is the best, my guru is most advanced, my guru is very special. Just like any wife should feel so about her husband, or any husband should feel so about his wife, that my wife is the best or my husband is the best. That helps to maintain the purity of that relationship, that helps to maintain loyalty towards that person, that helps to maintain appreciation and gratitude towards that person. But it doesn't mean that because my wife or my husband is the best, so I go all around the world criticizing all the other wives and husbands. No, that would be wrong, right? So the best thing would be, for you, your husband or wife is the best. But when you meet someone else, then you tell that person, if she's a lady, your husband is the best. Or if you meet a man, your wife is the best, because you want that person to be loyal to his wife or her husband. Likewise, when I am thinking about my spiritual master, or I meet a devotee who is initiated by my spiritual master, I'll tell that person, or I'll tell myself, my spiritual master is the best. But when I meet the devotee who's initiated by some other spiritual master, then I'll tell that devotee, your spiritual master is the best. Why? Because that will increase that person's faith in that person's spiritual master. And that will help that person in spiritual life, right? But when a person does not have such mature understanding, then a person goes around broadcasting, my guru is the best. And that is just because of the false ego. I am best, so my guru is best. Because I am the best, so I've chosen the best person. And that's why that person becomes the best. If I would have chosen someone else, that person would become the best. No? So it's not more about glorifying the guru, it's more about, because that guru is connected to me, that's why that guru is the best, right? So one has to stay away from this fault or this mentality. And one should act in a way which will encourage other devotees also, right? That's why in ISKCON it is decided that we always would keep Srila Prabhupada in the front, in the public, in any occasion where there is a gathering of devotees from different places initiated by different gurus, then Srila Prabhupada should be kept in the front, because he is the common, factor, or you can say the center point of attraction for everyone. And we would never give our spiritual master, a position which would make others feel that they are lower in position. In fact, the Vedic culture says that when you are meeting your father and you're meeting your uncle, or you're meeting your father and a guest has come at home, so you should first respect the guest, or first respect the uncle, then you should respect your father. That would please the father much more than if you just respect the father and you neglect the guest or the uncle. Because if I do so, then I'm spoiling the image of my father. Everyone will say what? They will say, look at this person. He has not taught his children how to behave. So the father would be much more happy when you very nicely treat the guest or the other people related to the father. That will make him feel proud. Yes, my son or my daughter knows how to behave well. Similarly, a pure devotee of Krishna becomes very happy when that pure devotee sees that my behavior with the god brothers, god sisters, or the other people related to that pure devotee is very mature. But when I behave in a childish manner, that okay, I just respect you and I don't respect anyone else, so then that even displeases the pure devotee. Because I'm acting in a Kanishta manner, in a very neophyte manner. I'm not thinking broad. So that's why in this page, you can see page number 59 of the handbook, it is mentioned what all things should be done and should not be done. So here it's mentioned, like we use a specific honorific title for Srila Prabhupada that we don't use for anyone else, that is His Divine Grace. Then everywhere in ISKCON temples, prominent buildings, everywhere you put Srila Prabhupada's photograph, his name, full name, his title. Hari Bhakti Vilas even speaks of this verse. Gopayet devatam ishtam gopayet gurumatmanaha gopayetcha nijam mantram gopayet nijamadikam. One should hide one's ishtadev, one should hide one's guru, one should hide one's mantra, one should hide one's japamala. Why it is said hide these things? Because these things should be shown only to people whom you trust completely, who are your confidants. You don't expose these things to anyone and everyone. Why? Because these things are your wealth. Now, you don't keep your wealth outside for public to see it. You keep your wealth protected. You know, if you have a diamond necklace, you will not keep it hanging on the doorknob, that too from the outside. You keep it inside. You will protect it. So similarly, what I cherish or what I value, I will protect it, not publicly always expose it. So similarly, this verse says you hide these things, your sadhana, your mantras, your realizations, and then you share them, but only with a very specific audience. That audience which will not get envious of you when they hear about it. Then public display of guru t-shirts, posters, bead bags, etc. Then photographs of gurus. That's okay if we keep it at our home. But then in ISKCON temples generally, we keep the picture of Prabhupada. Only at the time of worship, a disciple is allowed to carry a picture of his guru or her guru and put that on the altar while doing the worship. But other than that, we don't put any guru's pictures on the altar. And same thing with websites. Okay. The next, discrimination on the basis of guru. Developing cooperative relationships. So discrimination means what? On the basis of externals, you treat differently, right? Now, it may have happened with you sometimes, or it may happen in future, that someone may discriminate with you because you are not a disciple of such and such guru, or you are aspiring initiation from someone else, so it may happen that you're not our God brother, you're not our God sister. So there can be some kinds of discrimination. They may not be similarly warm and kind towards you or open towards you, right? It's possible. So that is very discouraging. It spoils the good mood. So just like if someone treats me like that, it's so discouraging and disheartening. Then if I also treat someone else like that, that person would also feel the same. Therefore, on this basis, we should not discriminate. It doesn't matter who is the initiating spiritual master. We should know we are all part of the same family. Family of whom? Family of the followers of Srila Prabhupada. Not a different family. It's the same family, right? And that understanding is very essential. Actually, that understanding means I'm able to see people beyond the body. I'm not seeing the physical structure of people and discriminating. I am seeing that they are all spirit souls and they are eternal servants of Krishna, and then they are initiated in this parampara to get qualified to serve Krishna. You'll see some people, when they meet a devotee who is initiated by their guru, they'll become so happy. My God brother, my God sister. But then if they meet a devotee who's not initiated by their guru, then it's okay. Why should I care? So that attitude is not correct. That is a very narrow vision. I should be happy to see any devotee because that person is a devotee, first of all. Doesn't matter, taken initiation from whom. First thing is that person is a Vaishnava, a devotee. So I should be happy. Not because that person is only my guru's disciple. Okay. We have already discussed this, but still let's do a quick revision. List some of the possible long-term consequences for ISKCON arising from inappropriate favoritism or bias on the basis of Guru. What will happen? Yeah, we already covered it to some extent before. What will happen when such things start happening? Or in some places it does happen.
There will be no unity.
No unity. Yes, what else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. People lose faith in the institution.
People will lose faith. Tripti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The new devotee who has been initiated by some guru might feel that he had made a wrong choice.
Correct. Yes. Thank you. Trishika Mataji.
Prabhuji, the organization will collapse.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Daniela Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I would say the same thing, that the organization will collapse.
All right. Who else? Lokesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Prabhuji. The society will get divided in various sections.
Divided. Okay. There'll be different factions. Yes. And also, one more thing. When I do that, it does not just affect the institute, it also affects my spiritual life. I'll be committing Vaishnava Aparadha. That will lead to my downfall in my spiritual life. The society will get affected, that's true. But then my spiritual life will also get affected. I'll not make sufficient progress. My progress will get hampered. Because I'm not broadening my vision. I'm still limiting my vision. I'm still somewhat thinking on bodily platform. So my vision will not get bigger. That means no progress in Krishna consciousness. So that's why one has to come out of it. That it's detrimental to my own spiritual life as well, to think like that, to behave like that. I'm not growing. All right. Yeah. Describe your vision of what ISKCON would be like if devotees maintain positive and cooperative relationship between all ISKCON gurus and disciples. The relationship should be so nice that people should not be able to even identify you are a disciple of whom, because you serve all the Vaishnavas so nicely, so happily, that people will be able to, it will be difficult for people to identify. Are you this person's disciple or that person's disciple? That should be the approach. One should be able to respect, one should be able to see good, one should be able to learn something from everyone around. Because everyone around us can teach us something. Not that only a specific person can teach us something. Actually, evolving consciousness means what? A person who has the most materialistic mentality, that person thinks, no one in this world can teach me. Then someone better than that is one who will think, one person can teach me, but only this person can teach me, no one else can teach me. And someone who is most evolved in consciousness thinks, anyone in this world can teach me. Because I want to learn. Anyone can teach me. I want to learn. I'm a student, I'm a disciple. I want to learn about Krishna consciousness. So I can learn from wherever I can get a chance to learn. So when a person becomes like that, then Krishna also has all different ways to help us or teach us. But when we become, no, only this person can teach me, then we are limiting Krishna's help. We are not allowing Krishna to help us in all different ways possible. Because only this person can teach me. No one else can teach me. In that way, I'm slackening or slowing down my own progress, my own advancement in Krishna consciousness. So Srimad Bhagavatam, this is a quote here. Someone read it, please. Yes, I am Prabhu.
I am so pleased with your mutual friendship that I wish you all good fortune. The Lord said, my dear sons of the king, I am very much pleased by the friendly relationships among you. All of you are engaged in one occupation, devotional service. I am so pleased with your mutual friendship that I wish you all good fortune. Now you may ask a benediction of me. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.30.8, the Lord speaking to the sons of King Prachina Bharishta.
Prachina Bharishta. Okay. Yes. Someone read the next one. Cooperate to keep this institute together.
May I, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes.
Cooperate to keep this institution together after I am gone. Your love for me, said Srila Prabhupada, will be shown by how much you cooperate to keep this institution together after I am gone. Srila Prabhupada, Lilamrit, Volume 6, 652. I have done my part.
Okay. Next. Someone read this, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
United we stand, divided we fall. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself wanted our cooperation. He is God, Krishna, and therefore cooperation is very important thing. Nobody should think that I have got so great ability I can do. No, it is simply by cooperation we can do very big thing. United we stand, divided we fall. This is our. So be strong in pushing on Krishna consciousness and Krishna will help. He is the strongest. Still, we must be combined together. Hare Krishna.
We must be combined together. Because actually what Prabhupada could do all alone, he could do because he was specially empowered by Krishna. But otherwise in Kali Yuga, it's very difficult to alone do anything positive in the direction of Krishna consciousness. It's very, very difficult. We need support and help to survive our own Krishna consciousness and also to help others come to Krishna consciousness, right? So that's why we have to understand it very seriously. Now, there are appendices in this handbook, which we are not taking you through because these are extra materials for you to go through at your free time. It's good to know the things mentioned here. Some of them are more of academic in nature. So you can look at the titles and whatever looks interesting to you or helpful to you at this stage of your Krishna consciousness, you can read through. All right. So here we come to an end of our course. Before we stop, I would like to hear from you your specific realizations. What did you learn in this course? If you have any questions, also you can ask them. Right, and what exactly you are going to take across from this course, which you never understood before or you never heard before, and it has changed your way of thinking. So we can hear all that from you now. Okay. So any questions? First of all, let's see if anyone has any questions. Today is our last day, so you can ask a question if you have any. Sirisha Mataji, is that a question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, can you please explain this? One should hide one's guru.
Yes, this is what it means. One should hide one's guru. It means we should not broadcast the guru anywhere and everywhere. One should speak about the guru only in an assembly where the guru will be respected or accepted. Because if I speak about my spiritual master or any person whom I like in front of an audience who may not like him, then they will start being more envious towards that person, and that envy will lead to Vaishnava Parat. Right? So I should glorify a person only in an audience where that audience will accept that glorification. Because if they don't accept it, they will disrespect. That disrespect means aparat. So I became a cause of them doing that aparat. Right? Same thing applies. Why we don't give holy name to everyone? Like Nama Pradis, you don't tell about the glories of the holy name to everyone. Because they are envious, so they'll not believe the glories. If they don't believe the glories, they will commit aparadh. If they commit aparadh, I become the cause of them doing aparadh. So we should speak about the glories of a person in an audience where they are eager to hear those glories without any envy. Right? That's why hide your guru. But it doesn't mean you don't talk about him anywhere and everywhere, but in a specific place you speak.
But in the translation, like one should hide one's Ishtadeva, one should hide one's Guru,
Same thing.
hide
Same
mantra.
thing. Yeah, Ishtadeva
Japamala.
means Krishna. So we don't speak about Krishna to an audience who is envious of Krishna. Even Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, don't talk about me to an audience who is envious of me. Don't share this knowledge of Gita with them.
Okay.
Right? So we know this person is a demigod worshipper and this person does not have any respect for Krishna. Then we don't talk about that person, Krishna, to that person. We don't. Why waste our time? Same thing with the mantra. Okay, people may not have respect for Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So you don't talk about Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to them. You don't tell them. Same thing with Japa Mala or Japa or Sadhana. Japa Mala here means the instructions your Guru has given to you or the things that your Guru has asked you to do. So people may not have respect for it. So you hide those things. You don't show those things. Like that. It will protect them. It will protect them from committing an offense.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Same thing we should not tell about our sadhana to anyone and everyone. We should tell about our sadhana to only those who will be happy to hear about our sadhana. That, okay, very nice. You are doing so much nice sadhana. You're doing so much nice seva. Some people, they go anywhere and everywhere and start broadcasting. I am doing this, I am doing that, I am doing this, I am doing that. So that is not very healthy for oneself. Okay, Arjun Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. As you explained earlier, public display of Guru t-shirts, posters, bead bag and buttons should not be done except then Srila Prabhupada. But I have seen in our altar, there is the photo of Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj also displayed. And why is that?
That is put at the time of worship. When a particular pujari is doing worship, so that pujari can keep during the time of worship one spiritual master's photograph. Because worship is done through the permission of the spiritual master, with the help of the spiritual master. So during that time, pujari will bring a photograph, keep it on the altar, do the puja. After the puja is done, take away the photograph. So you'll not find photograph throughout the day. Find it only during the arati time. Okay. Yes, Tripti Mataji.
Prabhuji, my question is related to the same para. We should hide bead bags. But during city hiking, Harinam Kirtan, I see people wearing the bead bag and even chanting during the Kirtan, city Kirtan. So
Well, there it is written, one should hide one's japa mala, not the bead bag.
Okay.
Mala, the beads.
Thank you.
That's why we keep the beads in the bead bag.
Thank you.
Sorry, Kamataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Sadhatanam. Prabhuji, my question is about, as you are saying that we should not show our sadhana to anyone, but when we go to someone's place, we do our daily duties such as 16 rounds. So generally people think that you are doing so and so. They generally talk about this. You are doing so and so. You rules are very strict and all. In that condition, what should we do?
So best is when we are in a place where people cannot appreciate what we are doing in our spiritual life. We should do without telling them, or we should hide as much as possible. We can only tell them little bit, not everything, because they will not be able to appreciate it. and they'll not help us also do it. So we can hide it, need not tell them. Whatever is required to be mentioned, use mention. What is not required, don't mention. So it's possible. We don't have to tell that how many rounds we chant. We can just say we chant some rounds. Because you don't have to always sit in front of them, chant the holy name. You can always chant in your room. They would not know what you are doing inside your room. So in that way, we can keep it to the extent they don't get irritated about it. It's too much you are doing. Because if they get irritated, either they will try to stop you from doing it, or they will pull your leg. They will, make fun of you, tease you, create some obstacle on your path, or they will commit some offense. So why then give them that chance? Yes, Renu Mataji.
Prabhuji, my elder sister, she keeps telling everybody, she does this, she does that, to everybody. I tell her not to say, but I am not able to.
It's okay, you tell her, no? You try to explain to her.
I have explained us many times, but she does that.
Yeah, then what can be done? So we should be eager to share with people the knowledge and the process if it's going to help them. But then we should also know that it should be given to people who show some interest in it and they are somewhat innocent and they may accept it. We don't have to tell everyone. We should be able to get this idea whether this person will really take to it and to what extent we should encourage this person. Is he having the adhikar that this person can be given this knowledge to this extent or not? So we have to be a little mature.
Prabhuji, I'd like to add to that. I have a sister who keeps accusing me of being a part of a cult movement. And I'm unable to answer that. ISKCON is a cult movement. Why do you want to join them? Why are you a part of it? So, I end up fighting with her and I'm not able to tolerate the accusation leveled against me. So I don't know how to handle that.
So you don't talk about it anymore with that person, no? Whenever that person talks about it, you should say that our discussion is not going to lead to any conclusion. We have already discussed on this subject many times. So why waste your time and my time talking on the same subject?
I don't talk about it. But when she sees me with my mala, or I don't even chant in front of her. When she sees me doing whatever sadhana in my own small place, she always reacts. So I get very heated up. So
yeah. So when a person reacts, you should maybe if you can't at that time, then you should find out another time, sometime when you meet that person, and you should call that person and make that person sit next to you, and then very nicely explain to that person that what you are doing, how it is nice and how it is benefiting you. So you can tell that person that I don't wish to hear anything from you about this subject matter, and you should be mature enough to understand that. So when we tell people things in a nice manner, yet in a firm manner, that this is what I expect from you. If you want to have a good relationship with me, and you don't want me to stop communicating with you for anything, then you should know, don't cross your boundary on this particular topics, stick to what we should be discussing. And after you have then spoken to a person like that, and still that person is not changing, you should disconnect. You should give that person this understanding that you are serious, you are not joking. Disconnecting here doesn't mean now you are not going to talk forever. I'm saying you disconnect for some time so that person understands, okay, I'm doing a serious blunder by again and again doing the same thing. If that person is mature, that person will understand. If that person is not mature, then why do you have to be, concerned about that person's thoughts about this or anything, right?
Thank you, Prabhu.
How many, if I've seen people chanting while listening to a lecture. Is it okay to chant while hearing a lecture? It's not okay to chant while hearing a lecture. When we chant, we chant. When we hear a lecture, we hear a lecture. Don't do two things together. How is it possible that you can do both the things nicely together? Because we have to hear with the same ears, and when we are chanting, we have to hear with the same ears. So how we can do two things together? Not possible. So when you chant, you chant. When you hear a lecture, you hear a lecture. Don't mix up two things. But people who hear a lecture while chanting can never have attentive chanting. Because they get bored while chanting, they just want to play a tape and pass their time. So that means their chanting is not good quality. They have to improve on their chanting. Chanting itself is very pleasurable activity if we do it nicely. So we should just hear. And while chanting, just hear the holy name. Rishika Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I have two questions. Prabhuji, one question is that Vapu and Vani Seva, is it like exclusively for the Diksha Guru, or is it applicable for Diksha Guru as well? Like we should do it for Diksha Guru also. And Prabhuji, my second question is like in Vani Seva, like if the Guru is focusing more on book distribution, and let's say if I'm not a very good speaker and I'm able to fulfill instruction, so is it like a kind of a aparadh I'm doing, or I'm not performing my duty? Is it like that?
Your voice was breaking. Anyway, I could somehow make out the question. So first is Guru, Seva, Vapu and Vani applies to only Diksha Guru. No, it applies to Diksha Guru as well. Then next question is, if the Guru is emphasizing a lot of book distribution, I'm not able to do. No problem. You then go and approach the spiritual master if you have that kind of relationship, and you can approach and you express, I cannot do this seva. Can I do some other seva? The spiritual master will give you some other seva. We should know one thing. Every devotee has a mission. So they will most of the time emphasize what their mission is. Because that's what their mission, that's what their service to their spiritual master is. So they will emphasize on it more and more during their classes, during meetings, everything. But that doesn't mean that they think that everyone should be doing this only. They also understand some people will not be able to do this. So they are flexible as well. So in general, they would speak what their mission is, what their calling is, because that's what they relate to the most. But if we go and approach them personally and then we ask, no, this is not really possible for me for whatever reasons, then they will definitely help us with some other instruction. The purpose of engaging us in Krishna Seva is not that Seva. The purpose of engaging us in Krishna Seva is so that we can remember Krishna. That's the main purpose. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Abhishek Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, thank you. First of all, thank you so much for such an amazing sessions. And these are really, really going to help us in our spiritual growth. Prabhuji, I have two questions. One is related to today's session, and the another one is from the previous session. Today's question is that, as you said, as it was written that we should hide Guru. So we've seen that the people put the pictures of their gurus as a display pictures. They post the quotes many times, and they are sometimes so absorbed in their guru that whenever they're going to speak, they start with the mercy of the guru's name and all those things. So how should we take that? Is that okay? Or
it's okay. No problem. It's fine. Some people, they do that. Some people don't do that. Some people, they chant the pranamans of their spiritual master publicly, loudly. So that's okay. We don't have to become very rigid. No, this is how it should be done. We should also understand, like, for example, if someone is glorifying one's own spiritual master or chanting the pranamantras of one's spiritual master, at that time, we can chant our spiritual master's pranamantra in our mind. That's fine. Like, for example, someone is singing Guru Puja and that person is chanting Jai Gurudev. singing like that. So that person is thinking about his guru. Others can think about their gurus. What's wrong about it? Yes, correct. There's nothing wrong about it. So one thing we should know, that someone else Guru Bhakti will inspire us to become also a nice Guru Bhakta. So we should not discourage people from demonstrating their Guru Bhakti. In some temples, I know the devotees are so dry in their approach towards spiritual masters and their relationship with spiritual master, because they're very rigid about this. They don't talk about your spiritual master, just talk about Prabhupada. And in long run, what I see them, I see them is they have no heart-to-heart relationship with their spiritual master. They're very impersonal in their relationship with their guru. To them, it does not matter what the spiritual master is doing, whatever, because they never tried to develop that relationship. They were too much institution-oriented, They love the institute more, and they don't love the people of the institute much. So that's not very healthy. So we have to find a balanced approach, that we should be very conscious of our spiritual master. We should always think about him or her, thank him, pray to him, be sheltered, remember him. But at the same time, we don't become fanatics. We act maturely, just like I gave the example, a wife or husband will be very loyal to the partner, but will not tell everyone around that you should leave your wife and you should leave your husband and then accept my wife or accept my husband. Nothing like that, isn't it? So similarly, we are loyal. And the thing is that if you have that loyalty and devotion towards your guru, you don't have to talk about it. People will see it and people will be inspired by it. People who talk so much, they are empty inside. Those who have it inside, they don't talk much, but people can see it in their words, in their actions, in their decisions, in their dealings. They can see that.
Yes, Roger.
Right? Okay.
May I ask the second question as well, or later on?
Yeah, you can ask.
So the second question is that sometimes we see on the social networking, or we come across the various articles where we see the downfall of the very elevated souls. When we see that, or when we read that, that really hurts or bewilders us, that this is such a pure process, and which obviously they had also followed throughout their lives, but now they are falling down into that. So how can we be assured that this is going to help us as well? Like they might have done more sadhana than they might have done.
So, okay, what's the problem if someone falls down? Fall down is not the end. That person will rise again. So what's wrong with fall down? Let's say you also fall down. What's wrong with that then? That's not the end. We should know that on the path of bhakti, there's nothing like fall down. There's nothing like fall down. That's only an external thing. Sometimes these things happen because of your past karma. It's not necessary that you are not sincere, that's why it happens. Sometimes it's your past karma. What can be done? So these are all very external things. Because we are not yet on the platform of spirit soul, so when such things happen in the world, we react to it like a person should react to such external things. But internally, we should be convinced. And on the path of bhakti, no one falls down. It's only a temporary, collapse, you can say. That person will rise up again. Why will that person rise up again? Because Krishna will not let that person remain fallen. Krishna will help that person. Why that person has fallen down? It may be just a lesson that Krishna wants to teach that person. Some lesson, we don't know what's going on between Krishna and that person. Correct? We don't know. Maybe that's the last test for that person to pass. If that person passes that test, no more fall downs. So we should not be afraid. We should have complete faith on this process that no matter what, someone falls down, you fall down, that doesn't matter. That does not that does not make the process less powerful. That does not make the process invalid or non-authentic. It's just a part of the journey. Ups and downs will be there. Sometimes ups, sometimes downs. Right? Isn't it? Srila Prabhupada once he was approached by a devotee, and the devotee said, Prabhupada, I have a fear I'll fall down. So I said, you're already fallen. Where will you fall down? So we should know one thing, that we're already fallen. It's not that we went to spiritual world and then from there we came back. We're already fallen. We should not take these things very seriously. It happens. That's okay. Nirupama Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, if you have time, can you answer 3 questions of mine?
Yes.
One, when I'm traveling with my boss, I cannot do my mala with her. So can I use a counter instead?
Yes, you can. But then I always tell that you should chant your 16 rounds on your beads. Counter chanting should be extra.
Okay. And Prabhuji, due to my busy schedule, I am not getting time to read books. Okay. I come for Mangla, I come for Seva in the temple, I go for evening Aarti also, but then I don't get time to read. Instead, I listen to the lectures over the on the net.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. But then even if you, let's say you don't get time to read books, which is not that we have to take out an hour, 90 minutes, 45 minutes to read. We can just read for 10 minutes a day. That much time we can always take out.
And what book should I start with since I've not started reading?
Start with the smallest book you see in the book table in ISKCON Temple.
Okay, right. And one more thing, last, Prabhuji, I was associated with Shiksha Guru, like how Shivangi was. I have disconnected with the Prabhuji, but now when I meet him, I do say Hare Krishna to him. But then now the response is not there from the Shiksha Guru. So how do I react? Like, should I continue saying Hare Krishna or just turn my face? I really don't understand how to react.
It's okay. You have tried to be respectful, so you continue to be like that. But you don't have to feel sad if that person is not reacting. That's okay. That person may have some reservations or some misunderstanding. So you let time to dissolve such things. It's okay. Not a problem.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Danila Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very much for your process. It was very enlightening. And
thank you.
Yes. I have a question. In the morning, when I get up, usually I do I chant my mala, but then after this, because I have to go to work, then I use a Tulsi Prana mantra and a small arti. But I heard you say that we should do all this as if we should do Tulsi arti, that song.
We can do while traveling, we can do in other places. It's not that we have to do it in temple or altar only. We can sing these prayers while we are traveling, while we are doing some work. Anytime we are in, throughout the day, we can get some time to do it. That's okay. It's fine. Right?
That means it's important. We should do.
Yeah, the more we do these things, it's nice. At the end of the day, the whole principle is be Krishna conscious 24 hours a day. So these things help us to be Krishna conscious. So we should do it. The goal of our life as a devotee or a practicing devotee is that we should be able to come to a point we can remember Krishna 24 hours a day.
Yes. And
so these things will help us. Yes.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. And also, Prabhu, as if I'm used to, as if my colleagues at work, sometimes I distribute books with them. So, but I don't know their nature. I just give them like this.
That's okay. You are just giving a book to them. If it's not in their nature, they'll not open it and read it. No problem.
Okay. And also, I wanted to ask you something, that there are different type of, when we do japa, there is different type of stage that we reach. But how will we know that we have reached that there is a bhav stage? How will we know? Because sometimes mine is
that takes time, first of all. So first thing is that we should know we are not there and will not also easily reach there.
Yes.
It takes long time to reach those stages. So the goal of our life should be that we want to reach to those stages, but at the same time we know that it will come after some time, after years of practice, not immediately. Not immediately, right? So the only thing that we should be concerned about is how can I practice this process till the moment of my death? That should be our concern. Whether we reached on the stage of bhava bhakti, prema bhakti, this or that, leave that on Krishna. Our concern should be till the moment I leave my life, my last moment comes. How can I sincerely participate and practice in this process? That should be our concern.
Yes.
After that, what stage we reach to and all that, let Krishna also do some job.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Fine. So we stop here. Okay, we stop here. Thank you so much, everyone. It was nice being with all of you. And we hope you will do well in your exams. The recordings will always be with you, so you can go through them again and again. Even the handbook, it will certainly help you immensely in your spiritual life. And before we end, I just want to help you go through our website, simplevedas.com. There's a lot of material on this for your personal studies. Like you can go to the section called courses. So we have many free courses which are designed on the basis of Srila Prabhupada books. You can enroll in them and start learning at your own pace. For now, we just have 6 courses, but many more are coming. So you can go through that. And also, if you go to media section, I have more than 600 videos on different books and subjects, and that is all freely available. So you can go through that anytime and take help of that. We have lectures on the entire Bhagavad Gita, all 700 verses, Isha Upanishad, Updeshamrit. Soon we are going to put Nectar of Devotion also, and many other topics in Hindi as well as English. So this website we recently launched for service to devotees, so that they can always be studying or understanding this process more nicely. All right. So you can take advantage of that. Yes. Okay, some more hands up. Tripti Mataji.
Prabhuji, my question is related to the exam. Some of the questions say give appropriate references to Shastra. What does that mean? Do we give the verses which are given, or we give the references which are given?
Yeah, you give the reference, like, okay, Tadviti Pranipatena is the verse. So Bhagavad Gita 36, like that. 34, sorry, 4.34, like that. You give reference. Kunal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Actually, I wanted to, if we can have some more information about the exam, how will it be, the duration?
Okay. So exam is 1 hour long. It will have 6 to 7 questions. 20 marks.
67 questions.
Total marks of the exam, 20 marks. And you have to write, as I think I mentioned before, whatever is the mark of total marks of the question, you have to write that many points. It's a 3-mark question, you write 3 points. It's a 6-mark question, you write 6 points. So it's going to be an easy paper, not very difficult, and very short paper, 20 marks. 1 hour is a lot of time for that. So once you have done the exam, then you make a PDF of the answer sheet, and then you can send it to phone number will be given to you on the WhatsApp group. You can WhatsApp the PDF to that phone number. So,
so can we use the handbook to revise the answers? But
you
I
can
didn't
use the
understood it.
handbook to memorize the answers. During the
Okay.
exam, you have to write down the answers from your memory and understanding.
Because it says open book assessment,
No,
so I
it's
thought
not
we
open
can
book, it's
refer.
closed
No,
book.
it's closed book.
Yes, closed book.
Okay,
It's
thank
closed
you.
book. Lalita Mataji.
Prabhuji, there are many questions in the handbook. Is it going to be from there, or is it going to be new questions?
It's going to be from there mostly, yes. Maybe one question from the discussions we had, but almost all the questions will be from there only.
And we have to do it while the Zoom is on? I mean, how is it?
Yeah. While the Zoom meeting is on, and you have to keep your video camera on, and you have to do things. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Very good.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Dhananjay Prabhu, you are trying to say something.
Yes, Prabhuji, I have a question about cooperation. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So my question is, for example, you talk about cooperation. So there are some temples that the standard is not so good. They are doing some deviation, no? And there are a specific guru dealing with this temple. So my question is, what to do in this situation? Best to avoid association with that? So talk with GBC about that. What is the best to deal with that situation? That's my question.
We should know one thing. The word cooperation applies only when the other person is following the right standards. When the other person is a deviant, then you don't cooperate with that person. We cooperate only with those who are on the right path and who are following nicely, right? We don't cooperate with people who are not following nicely or those who are not sincere. With those people, we should keep distance.
But in that case, I am telling people are innocent because they are following, how can I say, blindly the guru, for example. What to do with these
then
people?
in that case, if they are really innocent, then we should wait for time for them to learn and grow. So then you neglect their mistakes and you do the right thing without them, without telling them what is right. If they are not accepting it, you do the right thing and you wait for time to teach to them. You don't do what wrong they are doing. You do the right thing. Right? So,
okay, thank you.
Yeah, we have to continue to do the good thing, the right thing ourselves. And we can give them some time if we think they are sincere, just that they are a little misguided or confused. So we give them some time. But then, after some period of time, you'll understand whether they are really sincere or they want to be like that only. Because those who are sincere, in due course of time, they come to know the right thing and they change. People don't always stay in ignorance, no? How long they will stay in ignorance? If they are sincere, they will come to know what we have been doing till now was wrong. So they would want to change. That will definitely happen. Yes. Okay, a question is there. Do we answer some of the questions in mixed language like Hindi plus English? No. Either you answer in Hindi or you answer in English. Not in mixed language. Okay, Aarti Mataji. Last question for today, I'll take.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. So
Pranam.
Prabhuji, there's no question. It's just, I just wanted to pay my gratitude to you for such a wonderful course. You explained each and everything in such a depth with such live examples. I was really been touched with your examples so much that I really got the essence of this course. So please, it's my humble gratitude to you. And I wish to join many more courses of yours in the near future.
Thank you, Mataji. My pleasure
Thank you so
to
much.
serve you all. So, all right. Wish you all the best for the exams. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.